for the first time in 3 or 4 fights, he's got this edge on him where he's looking forward to the battle. He's looking forward to the challenge that Danny presents. And we had guys in there that were pushing him in sparring. David Benavidez was really pushing him. So hopefully it was the right strategy and we're victorious on the 18th. But we have a hard battle. He just motivates Golovkin because he's a heck of a fighter. Very good skills, great right hand. That right there, for all of us, I think, opens our eyes and makes sure that we're prepared. We're prepared to do what we need to do. No issues, a normal camp for him. He comes in at weight, so it's easy to do the things we have to do. They are always great because he comes in at weight. It's not a camp to lose weight. He came in at 170. I think for the WBC 7-day weigh-in, he weighed 162. For the 30-day weigh-in, he weighed 165, 164, something like that. Those are the words of Abel Sanchez, the trainer of Gennady Triple G Golovkin. He says that Golovkin is looking more motivated and energized and focused in training camp than he has for his last few fights, or that he has in his last few training camps. I personally believe this. As I mentioned in the other video I've uploaded today, I think that Triple G fights to the level of the perceived threat. If he really feels the guy in front of him poses serious problems for him, then he's going to step up his level of training. That's what I believe Triple G will be doing. I think we're not going to see Triple G make the kind of mistakes, at least not early on in the fight, that he made against Kell Brook. I think he's going to be a lot more defensively responsible. I don't think he's going to be as reckless. I don't think he's going to be as hot-headed early in the fight. Unless he gets hit and hurt, then we need to see how he reacts to that. But early on, I'm expecting a much more neat and tidy, compact, and methodical version of Golovkin than we've seen in the past few fights. As the fight goes on, if Danny Jacobs is able to frustrate Triple G, maybe hurt him, maybe be ahead on the scorecards, then we might see Triple G revert to those kind of street fighting tactics that we saw against Kell Brook. But if he's not able to do that, if his methodical pressure is working, then I don't anticipate too many mistakes from him. And it may turn out to be one of Triple G's best ever performances if that is the case. Triple G is an 8-1 favorite, or at least Danny Jacobs is an 8-1 underdog in this fight. So those are some long odds. The bookmakers don't often get it wrong. So perhaps they are going to be bang on the money here. If they're not bang on the money, then somebody stands to make a lot of money. If they do put something down on Danny Jacobs, we'll see. At 8-1, I think that's tempting, to be honest with you, if I was a gambling man. But I'm still rolling with Triple G. You know, tempting in terms of good odds, because Danny Jacobs is an opponent that does bring something to the table that Triple G hasn't seen too often in his professional career, if ever in his pro career. So maybe worth putting a little bit down if you're that way inclined. But yeah, I still have to roll with Triple G. I think he's going to win this fight, probably by stoppage. As talented as Danny Jacobs is in terms of athleticism, he's got height, reach, movement, speed, decent punching power. He does tend to make quite a lot of mistakes in fights. If you look at the 2 Sergio Mora fights, Jacobs made plenty of mistakes in those fights, particularly on the inside where he did get reckless and there was some serious defensive lapses. In the first Mora fight, he got dropped and hurt in that fight. You have to figure in the Triple G fight, he'll be a lot more careful because the level of the threat is a lot higher. So he should himself be a lot more defensively responsible. But can he keep it up for 12 rounds? Because he's never been a guy, certainly not since he's come back from cancer, from what I've seen, who is defensively responsible all the way through a fight, like an Andre Ward, for example. He's always been a guy that does get reckless in spots. And those kind of bad habits are difficult to break. You need to if you're going to be a defensively good fighter, you need to be consistent with it. You can't just turn it on for one fight. It's very difficult to anyway, particularly when you're in with a formidable offensive fighter like Golovkin. a guy like Andre Ward, he's defensively responsible in every fight going back God knows how long. Can Jacobs turn it on for this particular fight? We'll see. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below, people. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think Golovkin's going to fight to the level of the perceived threat? Or do you think he will make the same mistakes he made against Kell Brook from early on? Do you think Danny Jacobs can actually hurt Triple G? Can he frustrate him? Can he win rounds and force Triple G to get reckless and then punish him for it? It's going to be interesting. Let me know how you feel. It's happening. I'm out.